Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session on mastering English communication reflexes. My name is Anna, and I'm delighted to have you here. In this video, we're going to explore the concept of communication reflexes, a key skill for anyone who wants to speak English naturally and confidently. Whether you're a student, a professional, or simply looking to improve your conversational skills, this podcast is for you. Let's begin by discussing what we mean by communication reflexes. When we talk about communication reflexes, we refer to the ability to respond quickly and appropriately during conversations without having to pause for long periods to think. It's that instinctive, almost automatic reaction that allows you to carry on a dialogue in a fluid and natural manner. Imagine being in a conversation where your responses come so naturally that you barely have to think. This is the goal of developing a strong communication reflex. Now, you might wonder why this skill is so important. In everyday interactions, whether you're greeting a new colleague, engaging in a casual chat, or even handling unexpected questions in a meeting, the ability to respond promptly is crucial. A well-honed communication reflex not only boosts your confidence, but also helps to make your speech sound more authentic and engaging. When you can react on the spot, you're better able to express your ideas, share your thoughts, and connect with your conversation partner. In today's video, I will share with you a combination of solo exercises and real-life practice scenarios that I've used throughout my own language learning journey. I'll explain the theory behind why these methods work, and then provide you with step-by-step guidance on how to incorporate them into your daily routine. The goal is to help you shift from thinking in your native language and translating word for word into English to responding in English as naturally as you do in your own language. Before we dive into the exercises, let me share a little about my own experience. Like many of you, I once struggled with hesitation and self-doubt when speaking English. I would often pause too long before answering, worried about making mistakes or choosing the wrong word. Over time, however, I realized that every pause was an opportunity lost, a chance to engage fully in the conversation. This realization drove me to experiment with various techniques aimed at enhancing my spontaneity. Through countless hours of practice, recording my responses, and even role-playing different scenarios, I gradually built up a smoother, faster mode of communication. And now, I want to share those insights with you. Let's start by breaking down the core elements that underpin effective communication reflexes. Rapid processing of information. When you're in conversation, your brain is constantly processing what's being said. Developing communication reflexes means training your mind to quickly interpret information and decide on a response without getting bogged down by overthinking. This involves not only understanding the words, but also picking up on context, tone, and body language cues. Confidence in speaking. One of the biggest hurdles to natural speech is fear. Fear of making mistakes, sounding awkward, or being misunderstood. Building a robust communication reflex is as much about psychology as it is about language skills. It requires cultivating self-assurance so that you feel comfortable making spontaneous remarks, even if they are not perfect. Remember, every error is simply a step toward mastery. Regular practice and exposure. Like any skill, the ability to respond swiftly in English improves with regular practice. The more you immerse yourself in the language, whether through solo exercises, conversation clubs, or role-playing real-life situations, the more natural your responses will become. Consistency is key. Adapting to different contexts. Communication isn't one size fits all. The way you speak in a casual conversation with a friend might differ from how you interact in a professional setting. Effective communication reflexes involve being able to adapt your language and tone to suit various contexts, ensuring that your message is conveyed appropriately, no matter the situation. In this first part of our series, I want you to focus on understanding these fundamentals. We'll discuss why each of these elements matters and how they interact to form the foundation of spontaneous, fluent conversation. Now, let's delve a bit deeper into the psychology behind spontaneous speaking. When you're faced with a question or a comment in English, there's a natural split second during which your brain decides how to respond. This split second might seem insignificant, but it's the critical moment where hesitation can occur. Often, this hesitation stems from an overemphasis on correctness, worrying about whether you've used the perfect phrase or whether your pronunciation is flawless. While it's important to strive for accuracy, being overly cautious can hinder your ability to engage in fluid conversation. One strategy that I found incredibly effective was to reframe my mindset. Instead of focusing on getting it right, I shifted my attention to getting my point across. This subtle change in perspective helped me overcome the paralysis of perfection. I began to view mistakes as natural parts of the learning process. Each error provided valuable feedback and was a stepping stone toward improvement. By accepting that imperfection is part of learning, I gradually reduced the pressure I put on myself, and my responses started to flow more naturally. In addition to mindset, the way you practice is crucial. I encourage you to start with simple exercises that challenge your spontaneous speaking skills. For example, try setting a timer for 1 minute and then speaking non-stop on a topic of your choice. Don't worry about grammar or vocabulary at this stage. The goal is to get comfortable with the act of speaking without overthinking every word. You might be surprised at how much your confidence grows with even just a few minutes of daily practice. Another valuable exercise is the question and answer drill. Write down a list of simple questions, such as, "What did you do last weekend?" or "What is your favorite movie?" and practice answering them aloud as quickly as possible. Over time, try to increase the complexity of your questions and answers. This drill not only trains your brain to process information faster, but also helps you become more adept at constructing responses on the fly. As we continue through this series, we will explore several of these exercises in detail. In the upcoming parts, I'll walk you through step-by-step routines for solo practice and for engaging in simulated real-life conversations. I'll also share tips on how to monitor your progress, adjust your techniques, and overcome common obstacles that might arise along the way. Before wrapping up this first part, let's summarize the key points we've covered. Understanding communication reflexes. We defined communication reflexes as the ability to respond quickly and naturally in conversation. This skill involves rapid information processing, confidence, consistent practice, and adaptability to different contexts. the importance of mindset. Overcoming the fear of making mistakes is essential. Shifting your focus from perfection to effective communication can help you develop a more natural speaking style. Starting simple. Begin with manageable exercises, such as timed monologues and quick Q&A drills. The goal is to build comfort with spontaneous speech, rather than striving for flawless language immediately. The role of practice. Regular practice is the cornerstone of improvement. By integrating these exercises into your daily routine, you'll gradually see your communication reflexes strengthen, enabling you to speak more fluidly and confidently in real-life situations. I want you to take a moment now to reflect on your own experiences with speaking English. Think about a time when you felt hesitant to speak and what might have held you back. Recognizing these moments is the first step toward overcoming them. Remember, every learner faces challenges, and the path to fluency is paved with practice, persistence, and a willingness to embrace imperfection. In the next part of this series, we'll move from theory to practice. I'll introduce a series of structured exercises designed to accelerate your communication reflexes, including detailed instructions for solo drills, shadowing exercises, and role-playing scenarios that mimic everyday interactions. These methods have been instrumental in my own progress, and I'm confident they will help you too. Thank you for joining me in this first part of our journey toward mastering English communication reflexes. I encourage you to revisit these concepts often and start incorporating some of these simple exercises into your daily routine. With time, you'll notice that your responses become quicker, your confidence grows, and your English sounds more natural than ever. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Anna. In part 1, we explored the concept of communication reflexes and why they are so important in achieving natural, fluent English conversation. Now, it's time to put those ideas into practice. In this section, I'll introduce several practical exercises that you can start incorporating into your daily routine. These exercises are designed to help you react more quickly in conversations and build confidence in speaking English spontaneously. 1. Timed monologues. Let's begin with an exercise called the timed monologue. This exercise is simple, but highly effective. Instructions. Set a timer for 1 minute. Choose a topic that interests you. Anything from describing your morning routine to explaining a recent experience. When the timer starts, speak non-stop for the entire minute without worrying about grammar or perfect vocabulary. The key is to keep the words flowing. What to focus on. Concentrate on getting your ideas out rather than finding the perfect words. The aim is to train your brains to produce language quickly and naturally. Tips. Record your monologue and listen back to identify areas where you hesitated or paused. Over time, you'll notice an improvement in your fluidity and confidence. 2. Question and answer drills. Next, we have the question and answer drill. This exercise is designed to simulate real-life interactions and help you practice responding quickly. Instructions. Write down a list of simple questions that you might encounter in everyday conversation. Examples include, what did you do last weekend? Or, what is your favorite hobby? Set a timer for 30 seconds for each question. When you hear or read the question, try to answer as quickly and naturally as possible, without pausing to think too long what to focus on. The goal is to improve your reaction time, even if your answer isn't perfect. The exercise helps train your mind to process and respond quickly. Tips: start with familiar topics and gradually increase the complexity of the questions. You can also practice with a partner or use language learning apps that provide random questions. 3. Shadowing technique. The shadowing technique is one of my favorite exercises for building communication reflexes, as it helps improve both listening and speaking simultaneously. Instructions: choose an audio clip from a podcast, interview, or any speech by a native speaker. Play the clip and, without pausing, try to repeat everything the speaker says as closely as possible. Focus on mimicking their intonation, rhythm, and pronunciation. What to focus on. Pay attention to the natural pace of the conversation. The objective is to internalize the rhythm of native speech and reduce the gap between hearing and speaking. Tips: it might feel challenging at first, but repeated practice will help you catch up to the speaker's pace. Try shadowing shorter segments at first and gradually extend the duration as you improve. 4. Impromptu speaking challenge. For this exercise, we're going to introduce a bit of unpredictability to simulate spontaneous conversation. Instructions: ask a friend or use an online random topic generator to provide you with an unexpected topic. Give yourself just 30 seconds to gather your thoughts. Then, speak for 2 minutes on the topic without stopping. What to focus on. The key here is to train your mind to organize and articulate your thoughts quickly under pressure. Don't worry about making mistakes. This exercise is all about building spontaneity. Tips: after your impromptu talk, reflect on what felt challenging and what worked well. Over time, you'll become more adept at handling unexpected topics and speaking with greater ease. 5. Role-playing real-life scenarios. Finally, let's move on to role-playing. This exercise simulates real-life interactions, allowing you to practice your communication reflexes in a more dynamic context. Instructions: choose a common scenario, such as ordering food at a restaurant, introducing yourself at a networking event, or even handling a customer service situation. Write down a few key phrases and questions relevant to the scenario. Then, either by yourself or with a partner, practice the conversation multiple times, switching roles if possible. What to focus on. The goal is to become comfortable with the flow of conversation in different contexts. Role-playing helps you adapt your language and tone to suit various situations, making your responses feel more natural. Tips: record your role plays and review them to pinpoint areas for improvement. Practice with different scenarios to ensure you're well prepared for a variety of real-life situations. Putting it all together, each of these exercises targets a specific aspect of spontaneous speaking. Timed monologues. Train your ability to keep talking continuously question and answer. Drills help you respond quickly in everyday conversations. Shadowing improves your listening and mimicking skills. Crucial for natural speech rhythm. Impromptu speaking challenges prepare you for unexpected topics. Role-playing situates your practice in realistic scenarios, building your confidence in everyday interactions. I recommend integrating these exercises into your daily routine. Even if you only have 10 to 15 minutes a day, the cumulative effect will be significant. Consistency is key, and every minute you practice helps strengthen your communication reflexes. Remember, the objective is not to achieve perfection right away, but to gradually develop a more natural, spontaneous way of speaking. Embrace mistakes as part of the learning process, and celebrate every small improvement. Over time, you'll notice that your responses become quicker, your vocabulary flows more naturally, and you begin to think in English without the need for constant translation. Before we wrap up this part, I want to encourage you to pick 1 or 2 of these exercises and commit to practicing them daily for the next week. Reflect on your progress and adjust the exercises to suit your evolving needs. In the next part of this series, we'll explore how to incorporate feedback, track your progress, and fine-tune your techniques further. Hello again, everyone. I'm Anna, and welcome to the final segment of our series on mastering English communication reflexes. In this part, we'll focus on 3 essential areas: tracking your progress, overcoming the challenges that inevitably arise, and reflecting on your journey to maintain your momentum. By the end of this session, you'll have a set of strategies to help you continue improving your spontaneous speaking skills and build lasting confidence in your English communication. 1. Monitoring your progress. One of the most important aspects of any learning journey is knowing how far you've come. Here are some practical strategies for monitoring your progress. Recording your practice sessions. Make it a habit to record your timed monologues, Q&A drills, and role-playing sessions. Listening to these recordings over time can reveal improvements in fluency, pronunciation, and confidence. Compare your recordings from different weeks and note any reduction in hesitation or pauses. Keeping a practice journal, write down your daily practice activities, what exercises you completed, and how you felt during each session. Note any breakthroughs, such as being able to respond more quickly during a Q&A drill, or any recurring difficulties that you can work on. This journal serves as a personalized roadmap, helping you identify patterns and areas for further improvement. Setting milestones. Establish specific milestones for yourself. For example, you might set a goal to reduce your response time during impromptu challenges by a certain amount, or to increase the length of your monologues without pausing. Celebrate these milestones with small rewards and let them motivate you to keep pushing forward. 2. Overcoming common challenges. Every learner encounters obstacles along the way. Let's discuss a few common challenges and strategies to overcome them. Fear of making mistakes. It's natural to worry about errors when speaking a new language. Remember, mistakes are a valuable state of the learning process. Instead of fearing them, view each error as a lesson that brings you closer to mastery. Remind yourself that every native speaker once faced similar challenges, and that your progress comes from embracing imperfection, self-doubt, and hesitation. Many learners struggle with the anxiety of not being good enough. When self-doubt creeps in, take a moment to recall your earlier recordings and journal entries. Reflect on how far you've come. Trust in the process, and know that consistent practice gradually builds the automaticity you're striving for. Inconsistency in practice. Life can be busy, and it's easy to let practice slip when motivation wanes. Combat this by scheduling short, regular sessions. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a big difference. When you're pressed for time, even a quick review of your flashcards or a brief impromptu speaking challenge can help maintain your momentum. Plateaus in progress. It's common to hit a plateau where improvements seem to stall. During these times, try varying your exercises. For instance, if timed monologues feel repetitive, experiment with different topics or integrate new vocabulary into your practice. Sometimes, shaking up your routine can reignite your progress and keep your learning experience fresh. 3. Maintaining motivation and staying consistent. Keeping the momentum going is key to long-term success. Here are some additional tips to help you stay motivated. Engage with a community. Joining language exchange groups or online forums can provide you with both support and accountability. Sharing your progress with others and hearing about their journeys can be incredibly encouraging. It's also a great way to receive constructive feedback and new ideas for practice. Reflect regularly. Take time each week to reflect on your achievements, whether it's a smooth conversation with a native speaker or simply noticing that you no longer pause as much when speaking. Acknowledging these successes builds confidence. Write down these reflexions in your practice journal to remind yourself that every effort is paying off. Adjust your goals as needed. Your learning journey is unique, and your goals may evolve over time. Periodically review and adjust your objectives to ensure they continue to challenge you. This flexibility not only prevents boredom but also keeps your learning aligned with your personal growth. 4. Final reflections and encouragement. As we wrap up this series on mastering communication reflexes, I'd like to leave you with a few final thoughts. Embrace the journey. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Every conversation, every exercise, and even every mistake is a step toward becoming more fluent and confident. Trust the process and be patient with yourself. Celebrate small victories. It's easy to get caught up in what you haven't achieved yet, but take time to celebrate the progress you've made. Each quick response, each moment of clarity, and every bit of improvement is a victory worth acknowledging. Keep practicing. Consistency is the cornerstone of success. Even on days when motivation is low, remember that a small amount of practice is better than none. The cumulative effect of regular practice will eventually lead to significant improvements. Stay open to learning. There's always something new to learn, whether it's a fresh approach to an old exercise or a piece of advice from a fellow learner. Stay curious and let your passion for effective communication drive you forward. Thank you for joining me on this journey toward mastering English communication reflexes. I hope that the exercises, strategies, and reflections shared in this series empower you to speak English more naturally and confidently. Remember, every conversation is an opportunity to improve, and every effort you make brings you one step closer to your goal. I'm Anna, and it's been a pleasure guiding you through these techniques. Keep practicing, keep reflecting, and most importantly, enjoy every moment of your learning journey. Until next time, happy speaking.